Tell God thank you. Tell God thank you. Watch over me all night long. Yeah, this morning. Touch the river and the blood. I gotta tell him thank you. 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 Tell God thank you. Tell him thank you. Tell him thank you. Tell God thank you. Next page. Put it on me. Well, good morning, everybody. Again, we greet all of you in that precious, powerful, praiseworthy name of our Lord, our Savior, Jesus the Christ. Thank you all so much for tuning in this morning. I pray and trust that that song bless you. If not, I'm praying and trusting that the word will do what the song was not able to do. Now, we're doing Facebook Live simultaneously with our conference call. So what I want you all to do right now, I want you to go ahead and turn to the book of Genesis. Yes, turn to the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verses 31 and 32. Then we want to flip over and look at Genesis chapter 12. Again, Genesis chapter 11, beginning at verse number 31. Here's what the word says. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarah his daughter-in-law, his son's Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Genesis chapter 12, verses 1, Now the Lord said unto Abraham, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great. And thou shalt be a blessing, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him, and Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarah his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. I want to talk this morning from a subject, and I think my wife is going to be able to put it up this morning. I want to talk from the subject, going after what God has for you. That's what I want to talk about this morning, going after what God has for you. Say that to yourself. I want to go after what God has for me. Now, when we look closely at our text this morning, when we take a close look at this text, Abraham's father, Terah, when the Bible speaks of Abram here, is speaking of Abraham. Abraham, father, Terah, in my opinion, failed to reach the place he pursued and died in a place called Haran, which was short of where he was headed. I've discovered that just because, and I want you all to listen in this morning and go ahead and share this and like this and go ahead and start a watch party. You all do that for me. I've discovered that just because it's God's will for us to prosper does not mean it will just happen automatically. Can I say that again? Just because it's God's will for one to prosper does not mean that it will happen automatically. In other words, you and I must do something. Somebody type that in. You have to do something. And I want to argue this for a minute, because when we read 3 John verse 2, John said, above all things, I would that you prosper and be in health as your soul prospers. In other words, it's God's will for you to prosper, but here's the problem. Is everybody prospering? So I want to suggest to you that just because it's God's will for you to prosper does not mean it will happen automatically. You and I have to do our part. I want to continue to argue that it's not God's will that any should perish. You know, it's God's will for you to be saved, but will you be saved automatically? No, you and I have to do our part. In other words, we have to accept Christ as our Savior. So just because it's God's will for you to prosper, lean in and listen to me. Share this with somebody. Somebody else needs to hear this. Just because it's God's will, or it is God's will for you to prosper, does not mean it will happen automatically. Joshua 1:8, he said, you shall make your way prosperous. That's what he said in Joshua 1:8. You shall make your way prosperous and have great success. In other words, you have to do your part. There's a scripture in Psalm 1 that said, whatsoever he doeth, talking about a blessed man, whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Somebody type in, you got to do something. You have to do something. In Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse number 18, the Bible said, but thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth you the power to get wealth. He gives you the power to do it, but you are the one that have to do it. I want you to lean in this morning, and I want you to think about the thing that you have a passion for. I mean, think about it. What is it that you have a passion for? What's your dream? What are your dreams in life? What are your dreams in life? And then ask yourself this question. What is it that's preventing me from going after what God has for me? What is it that's preventing me from pursuing the very thing that God has for me? And here's my task this morning. My task is easy this morning. My task this morning is to get you to face your fears, to get you to face your fears and your frustration, and to push you forward to go after your God-given destiny. Am I helping somebody? I'm trying to push you this morning because I don't want you to do what so many are guilty of. I don't want you to miss your opportunity in life. I don't want you to get old and be left to wonder what it could have been like if you had went ahead and pursued it. I don't want you to miss it. I don't want you to miss it because I know too many folk who have lived long enough to get old and then have to finish out their lives living with regret. Living with regret. I mean, a study was done in a retirement home. Can I talk to y'all? A study was done in a retirement home, and the elderly in that home was asked a question concerning their biggest regrets in life. They were asked, what is the thing that you regret the most when it comes to life? Can I help you all? The number one regret was the regret of the path not taken. The path not taken. The path not taken. The destiny that they failed to pursue. There's a story told about a frog. Story told about a frog. Frog was in a pond, but then that frog realized that there was something bigger than a pond called a lake. And then that frog realized there was something bigger called than a lake, which was an ocean. And let me tell you something. Somebody's asking the question, Pastor Neal, what can I do to go after what God has for me? What can I do? What can I do? Here's number one. Here's number one. You must be committed to starting. That's number one. You must be committed to starting. You must be committed to starting. You must be committed to starting. Write that down. Somebody put that in. You must be committed to starting. If you're going to do it. If you're going to do it. Somebody put that in for me. Somebody type that in for me. You must be committed to starting. You must be. I want you to get this. If you're going to go after what God has for you, number one, you must be committed to starting. Now, we have to commend Terah and Abraham both for a good start. I mean, we got to give them their props. We have to commend them right here for a good start because I know too many folk who don't ever start. In Genesis chapter 11, I'm just going to walk the text. In Genesis chapter 11, verse number 31, the Bible said, and Terah took Abram, which is Abraham, his son, and Lot the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarah, his daughter-in-law, and his son Abram's wife, and they went forth. If they went forth, that suggests that they started. Somebody put in there, you got to start. Now, we see here in the text, again, they went forth. They went forth. The Hebrew word here is yatsal, which means to go out or to depart. You can't just sit around and do all of this talking. Stop being a procrastinator. I know too many people who talk a good talk, but they never start. I mean, you know some folk. You saw them 10 years ago and they were talking about, well, I'm going back to school and I'm going to get my life together. But you see them 10 years later, they're still talking the same talk. It's time to stop talking and start walking. In other words, you have to start. Stop procrastinating. Somebody put that in, type that in. You don't need to share this. This is blessing me even right now. Stop, somebody type in, stop procrastinating. Stop procrastinating. You have to start. And then get this up, point A. You got to start where you are. You got to start where you are. Type that in. Type that in. You must be committed to starting. Sub point A, you must start from where you are. You must start from where you are. Make that plainer, Pastor Neal. Genesis chapter 11, verse 31, they started from a place called Ur. A place called Ur. You don't hear a lot about Ur. There's nothing wrong. This suggests that sometimes you got to understand that there's nothing wrong with starting small. There's a small word here, started. Nothing wrong with starting small. The Bible said, despise not the day. The day of small beginning. Ain't nothing wrong with starting small. I know a lot of people who will tell you that they started small. David, when you read your Bible, David, you know David, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, he making me to lie down. David started a shepherd boy. In other words, he started small, but then David eventually became a king. Nothing wrong with starting low, because it ain't about where you start. Somebody said it's about where you finish. Now, somebody listening to me on this line, and I want you to be real. I got some folk who started on Section 8. I mean, if you be honest, you know a little bit about that government cheese. Come on now, that peanut butter. Come on, talk to me. But that's where you started. That's where you start. And you know, most of you all listening to me, if you didn't get it at your house, you got it at your cousin. Can I just be a little country, a little more country right here? You got it at your cousin in them house. Let me tell you something. You started on Section 8, but here's your testimony. I'm on the 23rd Psalm now. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still water. He restored my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valleys of the shadows of death, I fear no evil. Why thou with me? Thy rod, thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemy. Thou anointed my head with oil, my cup running over. Let me tell you, you're on the 23rd Psalm now. And then some say I'm on Philippians 4:19. My God shall supply all of my need according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. Somebody on Psalm 37:25. I've been young, now I'm old. I never seen the righteous forsaken. I done got happy. Nor his seed begging for bread. You like George Jefferson. You can walk around in your house. Get up. And you know George Jefferson's song, when it come on moving, I'm moving on up. Somebody's testimony is, I'm moving on up. Let me tell you something. Start from where you are. When I was looking at this, I thought about a first cousin of mine, and he may be tuned in, by the name of Benny Hickson. I remember back in the early 90s, somewhere around 90, 94, 95, maybe even 96, somewhere around there, I remember when he started his business. And I want to help somebody here, because you got to start from where you are. But back there in the middle 90s, he was working for a company called FedEx, washing their van for somebody else just to make some extra money. You know, we grew up in the country and we do what we have to do. And, you know, a lot of folk don't understand that. But, you know, the way we come up on a farm, you learn to do what you have to do to make ends meet. So he was working for this other guy just to make some extra money. Had a good job at the time, but he just needed a little extra money. And so what happened, the guy he was working for lost the contract. And so they approached my cousin Benny at this company to see if he wanted to take over the contract. But here's the shout, he didn't even have a business. He didn't even have a business license. But let me tell you something. I remember him riding to Columbus, Georgia, where I was staying at the time, and asking me what I thought about him starting a business, taking this contract. My exact word for him, if he listened in, I told him to go for it. And let me tell you something. That was over 20 years ago. I'm trying to help somebody. He started where he was. Guess what? He got people working for him now. There's nothing wrong with starting where you are. I'm trying to help somebody. Start from where you are. But then here's point B. You have to start with what you have. Start with what you have. Type that in. Start with what you have. Somebody type that in for me. Start with what you have. Point B. Genesis chapter 12, verse 25. The Bible says they gathered all of their substance. Check me out. It's right there in chapter 12, verse 5. In other words, they got what they had. Jesus, when he got ready to feed 5,000, not counting women and children, started with 2 fish, 5 barley loaves. But let me tell you something. He fed all them folk, possibly over 15,000 folk. He fed off 2 fishes and 5 barley loaves. He started with what he had. He said, boy, you got a 2-piece snack there. They gave you some extra hush puppies. I'm going to feed all these folk. And he did it. Let me tell you something. Start with what you have. I remember my first car. I remember my first car like yesterday. A 1967 Catalina Pontiac, long, loud, and low. Long, loud, and low. Folk used to laugh at my car, but let me tell you something. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter where you start. You may start there. Start with what you have, because God can give you so much more after you head towards gaining what he has for you. And then let me tell you this. Not only do you have to start from where you are, start with what you have to start by faith. Somebody type that in. Point C, start by faith. Start by faith. If I'm helping you, go ahead and share this. Somebody else needs to hear this. Somebody else needs this. Start by faith. If you're going to get what God has for you, you have to start. And then you got to start by faith. If I'm helping you, go ahead and send me some hearts. Go ahead and send me some likes and some love right there. If this word is blessing you, go ahead and share. Send me some likes and some love. Some likes and some love. Send them likes and some love. Start by faith. Hebrews chapter 11, verse number 8, the Bible says, by faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. You know what? That means he went out by faith. He started by faith. Let me give you Hebrews 11 and 8 in the Message Bible. I had to get this. By an act of faith, Abraham said yes to God, called to travel to an unknown place that would become his home. When he left, he had no idea where he was going. He started by faith. Who is it that's listening to me today? Who is it that's listening to me this morning, need to get started and don't understand that when you start, you have to start by faith? Can I work this point? Can I work this? Lean in, let me work this a little bit. Noah, when he was instructed to build an ark, let me tell you something. Build an ark, never experienced rain. All he's ever seen is a little dew in the morning. But because God said do it, and he wanted everything God had for him, he went out and started building. Can I tell you, he did it by faith. He started by faith. Then you remember Joshua, he was given instruction to start marching around the Jericho walls. He started marching by faith, and the walls came down. That ain't enough. There was a woman who had an issue of blood for 12 years that went to every doctor, spent all she had, but she heard about Jesus. She pursued Jesus by faith. Talk, Tracy, Neal. I'm trying. There were some blind boys who needed their sight. He told them to go and wash in the pool of. Let me tell you something. They went and washed by faith. Who is it that need to start? But your faith been weak. Let me tell you something. It's a faith walk. It's a faith walk. I was inspired some years ago by Dr. I.V. Hiller some years ago when he gave his testimony about building two buildings in his city at the same time. He talked about how the bank didn't want to help him. But then here's what blessed me. He had so much faith until he told the banker, the buildings are going up. If God give me enough days and give me enough bricks, I will finish the project. Can I go ahead and tell you, God gave him enough days, God gave him enough bricks, and he finished the project? Who is it out there? Who is it out there? Your problem is you have failed to start. I'm talking to somebody that God wants you in business. You know it. Go ahead and put it on the screen and let others know. I've been holding back, but it's time to go forward. Who is it out there that God told you to go to school so you can teach others, but you have failed to start by faith? Let me tell you something. We're getting ready to build some homes down on our property at the hill. And you know what? We're starting by faith. And God gonna give us enough days. He gonna give us enough time to finish because we got started. So number one, you must be committed to starting. Go ahead and share this. I'm not done. I got a few more minutes. You must be committed to starting. But here's number two. You must be cautious when stopping. Boy, I'm trying to help somebody. You must be cautious when stopping. You must be cautious. I'm trying to help somebody. Go ahead and share this. Go ahead and send me some likes and some love right here. You must be cautious when stopping. I'm still in the text. Genesis chapter 11, verse number 31. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran, his son's son. I'm just walking the text. And Sarah his daughter-in-law, and his son Abram's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came to Haran and dwelt there. Hold up, wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. Now, they headed to Canaan, but they came to Haran and stopped there. Man, I tell you, the text said that they dwelt there. They came to Haran and they dwelt there. They dwelt there. Let me argue this. Terah stops in Haran, and the Bible says they dwelt there. Dwelt come from the Hebrew word yashab. Preach, Tracy. I'm trying to do it, which means to sit down. It means to remain. It means to dwell. It means to settle. It means to get at ease. It means to tarry. They are headed to Canaan. But get this, Miss Bridget, they came to Haran and they sit down. They sit down. They sit down. It means to remain. It means to dwell. That word yashab means to settle. It means to get at ease. It means to tarry. Let me share something with you all. When you're headed somewhere and you have to stop, let me tell you something. Your stop should be temporary. Let me tell you something. If I leave LaGrange headed to Atlanta is where I'm headed. If I stop in Noonan, let me tell you something. If I stop in Noonan and just pitch my tent in Noonan and never move, I fell short of reaching my destiny. Here's what they done in the text. They make it to Haran. They hadn't made it to Canaan, but they dwell in Haran. Let me tell you something. One writer says, somebody could have got sick. I don't really know what made them settle short of their destiny. I really don't know. But I got a question I want to ask everybody listening to me. What is it that has caused you to stop and settle short of your destiny? What is it that has caused you to stop and settle short of your destiny? Could it be sin? Some of you, you were doing good until you met that man, until you met that woman. You were doing well. You were going after what God has from you, and man, you got sidetracked. Don't click off now. Stay with me. Don't click off now. Stay with me. Could it be that you became satisfied? I mean, see, when you get satisfied, you lose your drive. You settle for mediocrity. And I know a whole lot of folk who have just settled for mediocrity. You settle for a little improvement. Y'all send them notes on now. Y'all type something in, cause I'm talking to somebody right here. I'm trying to help. Send your boy some likes and some love now. Don't get mad with me. Send me some likes and love. And I know you're not getting mad with me. Terror. Stop and settle and died in a place short of where he was headed. Can I say that again? Terror stopped, settled, and died in a place short of where he was headed. So you must, if you're going to get what God has for you, you must commit to starting. Number 2, you must be cautious when stopping. But here's number 3. You must be confident in separating. Did y'all hear that? If you're going to get what God has for you, you must be confident in separating. Man, I wish you all to share this. Some of you all hadn't shared this yet. I wish you share this message. I'm telling you, somebody you know need to hear this last point. Every person you know that done had somebody to walk out of their life, somebody to break up with them, let me tell you something. You need to tell them right now they need to tune in, because I'm about to help somebody who need to understand if you're going to get what God has for you, you have to be confident in separating. Let me show it to you in the text. When we get to Genesis chapter 12, verse 1, now Abraham know what happened to his father Terah. His father done died short of where they were headed. But notice what he tells Abraham, what God tells Abraham in Genesis 12, verse 1. Now the Lord had said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country, from thy kindred, from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. That I will show thee. In other words, you're going to have to separate. Now, when you got to separate, when you have to separate, you need to be confident in separating from certain places. Boy, talk. I'm helping somebody. Notice, he said, get thee out of thy country. You got to get away from the place that you are. You know, I love, where I came from, man. If I had to grow up again, I would want to come up the same way. I mean that, man. We had so much fun growing up. The school I went to, I loved it. Just wonderful. I still got friends that I grew up with. But let me tell you this. God fixed it in my life where I was able to leave for a while. Now I'm back now. I pastor not far from where I grew up. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I wonder sometimes what my life would have been like if I never seen anything other than Manchester, Woodland, and Tarleton. Let me tell you something. I love my city. I still love to go home, sit out in my parents' yard. In fact, I did it a few days ago. Let me tell you something. But let me tell you something. Sometimes God sends you so you can see something different than what you are accustomed to. Not to forget where you come from, but so it will bless you even more when he sends you back. Let me tell you something. He said, get from your country. So you have to be confident in separating from some places. But get this, point B, you got to be confident in separating from some people. I told you, man, you need to text somebody and tell them they need to tune in. I'm still in Genesis 12:1. He said, now the Lord had said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country. Then he says, from your kindred and from your father's house. So sometimes God have you separate from some people. I mean, when is the last time you check your crowd, your crew, your clique? Because some of you all, your problem is your crowd, your crew, your clique is not helping you to get what God has for you. The truth of the matter is you are connected to folk who are holding you back. You are connected to folk. Let me tell you something. If you want a picture of where you're headed, look at the people you're hanging with, because that's where you're headed. Look at your crew, look at your clique, look at your crowd, because that's where you're headed. Talk, Tracy. I'm doing it. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, evil communication corrupt good manners. Proverbs 13:20, the B clause says, a companion of fools shall be destroyed. When you hang with the wrong people, it corrupts you. As Solomon, women did it to him. It'll confine you. You're supposed to be like an eagle. You're hanging with chicken. It'll condemn you. Birds of a feather, old saying is, they flock together. The A clause of Proverbs 13:20 says, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise. Let me tell you something. You need to disconnect from the wrong people and connect with the right people. I know I'm talking good. Somebody put that in. Disconnect from the wrong people and connect with the right people. I've been praying concerning this project that we've embarked upon. Lord, bring me face to face with the right people that we need to get this project done. Connect me with the right people. Give me the right influence. Be confident in separating from some people. But then subpoint C, be confident in separating by focusing on the promise. By focusing on the promise. Notice the promise, and I'm done. Notice the promise, because you all are tired of me. I need somebody to put on that screen, I'm not tired of this word. You're blessing me. Somebody type that in, because I want everybody to tune in to this one, even after the day, to go back and listen to the whole message. Notice the promise. And I'm in verse 2 of Genesis. I told you I'm walking the text. And I will make of thee a great nation. I will bless thee. And I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abraham took Sarah his wife, Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the soul that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forward to go into the land of Canaan, and get this, and into the land of Canaan they came. Let me tell you something. If you go after what God has for you, you'll get there. But you got to start. You got to be confident in starting. You got to be cautious when stopping. You got to do that. But then you must be confident in separating. Get this. You must be committed to starting. You must be cautious when stopping. And then you must be confident in separating. Get this as I close. God gave Joseph a promise in the book of Genesis. You all remember Joseph. But let me tell you something. You can have a promise, but that does not negate the fact that you're going to have some problems. Ain't no way around problems. But don't allow problems to cause you to give up. You know, Joseph faced all kind of problems. Family problems. His brother sold him off. You know, Miss Potiphar lied on him. God never showed him the pit. Never showed him the promise. Never showed him the prison. Let me say that again. God didn't show him the pit. Didn't show him prison, but he held on to the promise and he made it to the palace. Somebody gonna get what God has for them that listen to me, because everything that has come against you, the devil meant it for evil, but God meant it for your good. Man, get up and go after what God has for you. Stop all this procrastinating. Let me tell you something. I don't want what God has for somebody else, but I want everything that God has for me. You know what? I don't care who don't like it. I'm not losing sleep over who don't like me, who look at me funny when God bless me. Let me tell you something. I want what God wants for me. And I want you to feel the same way. You deserve, let me tell you something. You deserve more than what you've been selling for. Stop going around, worried about what folk gonna say. Folk gonna talk about you regardless. Folk talked about me before Christ. They've been talking about me since I've been saved. And let me tell you something, I'm still all right. Long as I got Jesus, I'm gonna be all right. I pray this word that bless you. Let me tell you something. You ought to see that cash app come up on the screen. I won't listen to me. Even those who are not part of our ministry, if this word doesn't bless you, you can bless our ministry by giving, that cash app is up there, LHBCWS. You can give to our church. That goes to our church. You can still give our members, our disciples, you can still give by way of Cash App, Givelify, or you can go to our website, that's LeveretteHillBaptist.com, and you can give by way of PayPal, or you can mail it into the church at P.O. Box 478, Warm Springs, Georgia, 31830. I know this word doesn't bless you, so even if you're not a part of our ministry, sow a seed and let us know that you were blessed by this word. Y'all send me some likes, send me some love, send me some likes. Come on, send me some likes, send me some love if I bless you on the day. Send me some likes, send me some love. And I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so much. It's first Sunday. Leverette Hill, you all go ahead now, do your tithes. Today is first Sunday. We got a project that we embarked upon, and we're trusting that in fact, we know by faith, it will come to pass. It will come to pass. And we need you to continue to do the right thing because you've been taught well. God bless you all. We're about to go off this Facebook Live. I'm going to stay on my conference call for a few minutes, but God bless you all, and thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk with you all again live real soon. God bless you.